So for today's episode of EyeSwoon Unplugged, I'm gonna make a pan-roasted chicken from Cook Beautiful that I absolutely love. This was an early recipe that I developed for the cookbook, and it has dates, it has shallots, it has olives and thyme. It's got all the flavor notes that I love in any dish, from sweet and briny and herbaceous. I also love that the essence of this EyeSwoon Unplugged series really began as a way for me to just share recipes with you guys that I make in real time for my family. And that's what's happening tonight. I'm going to be losing light soon, so I'm going to try to rush through this process, but I'm actually making this for dinner tonight for Victor and I. And at the core, that's always what EyeSwoon Unplugged is about. Nobody's here with me when I make these recipes. It's me and a tripod and my iPhone, and then I'll have a second iPhone up here for my overhead shots. So it's really just me doing what I love. So I'm gonna take you through this process right now. I halved these shallots, and then once they're halved, it makes it so much easier to peel the skin. It's like a fun hack rather than trying to peel it in advance. Once you cut it in half, it's way easier. I have already gone ahead and cut my dates in half, and now I'm going to remove the seeds from the interior. The recipe says to just half them, but these are kind of large, like exceptionally large. So I'm going to go ahead and quarter them once they're halved, just because I love that little sweet bite with the chicken, but if it's too big, it'll kind of overwhelm your palate, because dates definitely have that natural sweetness. So I'm just gonna quarter them. And now I'm also going to take my olives and I'm going to bang my knife on the olive, and then boom, and it just pulls itself away. Just smashing my garlic, and I'm gonna give it a rough chop. I just wanted to mention, it's so important to read through all of your ingredients in a recipe before you start cooking, so that you can have everything ready and prepared. Even if you're not gonna measure things out, like I have everything readily available: vinegar, grapeseed oil, chicken stock, some white wine. Another thing that is so important for this recipe, or any protein that you want to have a beautiful sear on, is to make sure you bring it out to room temperature at least 30 minutes before you start cooking. When your chicken or your protein hits that pan, you want it to have that amazing sizzle. And I'm actually going to take my cast iron pan right now, and I'm going to put it in the oven, 425 degrees. And I'm going to put it in the oven for 15 minutes so the pan is piping hot. Oh, by the way, guys, you can see my second phone here. Another important trick is to dry your protein. If you want it to have that beautiful sear, it cannot be moist and wet. So just take a paper towel and dry it so that the skin is not clinging any moisture. And then I'm going to season with kosher salt and fresh cracked pepper. Take my pan out of the oven so it's piping hot. I'm gonna take some grapeseed oil. I'm gonna coat the pan. You really want the oil to be piping hot. And one of the great ways to kind of know it's hot enough is you'll start to see like a subtle ripple effect in the pan, and that's the perfect indication that your chicken can go in. I'm just gonna wait a moment, and then I'm gonna pop this in. So I have my chicken. I'm gonna put it down, skin side down. I'm gonna let that sear for about 4 to 5 minutes untouched. All right, guys, look at how beautifully golden that is. I'm gonna put them in a plate and set them aside as I build my sauce. Perfectly golden. Medium heat, 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna take my shallots, cut side down. I am going to check my shallots. Ah, look at that, it's beautiful. So I'm gonna flip these guys over. I'm gonna add my garlic and a few sprigs of thyme. I'm just gonna add 1 more tablespoon of butter. Season with some salt, pepper, and this is basically building the base of the sauce. I'm gonna deglaze with a 1/2 cup of white wine. Woo! Okay, I have let the wine reduce by half. I'm gonna add a few more sprigs of thyme. And then I am going to add 1.5 cup of chicken stock. I'm gonna let this simmer for about 15 minutes. This is reduced for 15 minutes. I'm gonna just season it a little bit more. And then I'm gonna put my olives in and my dates. Now I'm gonna nestle my chicken breast right back into this pan. And then we are going to put it in the oven for 20 minutes. Whoa, that is looking so delicious. Cannot wait to dive in. The last thing that I'm gonna do is remove the chicken and just do that last little bit of the sauce, which is adding the apple cider vinegar, which is gonna give it that amazing, unexpected, tangy quality. About 1.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I'm gonna let that simmer for a bit, and that last little bit is going to add some lemon juice and some butter so that it gets really silky, so that it coats the back of a spoon. Put our chicken back in, and we are ready to eat. We have my pan roasted chicken with shallots and dates. I'm not gonna eat it in front of you guys because Victor and I are gonna sit down for dinner right now. But I am gonna taste the sauce. Oh, it's so good. It's like tangy and buttery and lemony, and it's got all the amazing flavors. I'm so excited for you guys to make this dish. It's a goodie.